What's up everybody, it's Seth from Fowler Customs, and today I'm going to show you guys how to clean your Boost sneakers. Thanks so much for tuning in guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet, but with all that being said, let's get into it. So Boost has really exploded in popularity when it comes to sneakers, mainly because it's so comfortable. But the problem with that is we wear Boost sneakers all the time, and for that reason it gets really dirty really quickly. I regularly get comments about how to clean Boost sneakers, so I figured now would be as good a time as any to make the video. So without further ado, let's get started. The first and most obvious thing that you're going to need is the pair of sneakers that you want to clean. I have these mesh NMD R1s that have kind of become my beaters, and because of that, they're just totally trashed. So I wanted to see if I could bring some life back to them by cleaning them up. Next, you're gonna need some paper towels for general cleaning and also to stuff the sneakers with. You can also use shoe trees as well to stuff the sneakers. Next, you're gonna need a bowl with some clean water in it. This is my second bowl because the first bowl I broke. So don't do that and you should be good to go. Of course, you're gonna need some shoe cleaner. I'm using Jason Mark today, but there are a lot of other good shoe cleaners on the market, so it doesn't really matter which one you have. You're gonna need a stiff bristle brush for the sole of the shoe, and also a softer bristle brush for the more delicate parts of the shoe, like the mesh and the pods and some of the Boost. And finally, it's also good to have some sort of clean cloth that you can wipe down the shoes once you're done scrubbing them. You can also use the paper towels for that, but I find that the paper towels leave some sort of fuzzies all over the shoes, which are kind of a bummer to take off, so if you can, I'd say use a clean cloth. But now that we've run through the materials that you'll need, the next thing that you need to do is unlace the shoes. I'm only going to clean one shoe in this demonstration so that you can see both the before and the after. One thing to keep in mind though is that no matter how much you clean your shoes, there are sometimes going to be stains that you just can't get out. So in this case, I think that's probably going to be true for some of the stains on the midsole and also on the mesh, but we'll see what happens. So whenever I clean a pair of shoes, I like to start with the sole first because it's usually the dirtiest part of the shoe, and for that I use the more stiff bristle brush. So we're going to start off by wetting the brush first. Once you've wet the brush, you want to put some of your shoe cleaner around the bristles of the brush, and then you want to wet it again. Once you've got that done, you can start scrubbing the bottom of the shoe. One thing I like to do when I'm scrubbing the outsoles of my shoes is I like to get the bristles a little bit up onto the Boost. Now I really only recommend using the softer bristle brush for the Boost, but when you're cleaning the outsole of the shoe with the stiffer bristle brush, you can get up onto the Boost a little bit because sometimes there's more buildup of dirt around the bottom of the Boost. Once you feel like you've gotten all the dirt off the bottom of your shoe that you can, then you want to grab your paper towels and wipe off the excess foam. You're going to want to take off as much foam as you possibly can because if the foam does dry, it's got dirt in it, so what it's going to do is look kind of messy and gunky on the bottom of the shoe. What you want to do once you've cleaned the bottom of the shoe is stuff the upper with some paper towels so that you have something to rub against when you're cleaning the top of your shoe. As I said before, you can use a shoe tree to do the same thing, and in some ways it's better because it provides more resistance when you're scrubbing the top of the shoe. But I like using paper towels because what it allows me to do is fill every little crevice of the inside of the shoe. Next, what you want to do is to prep the soft bristle brush the same way you did with the hard bristle brush by dipping it in the water and then putting some of your shoe cleaner on the bristles and then dipping it again. And then you can start scrubbing the Boost and the upper of your shoe. Now before you do this, make sure to be careful around painted areas or areas with logos because a lot of times those are printed on or painted on, and if you scrub too hard, it'll actually rub the printing or the paint off. One thing to keep in mind, and I realize that I've already actually kind of passed that point, but one thing you want to do is make sure that if your Boost is dirtier than the upper of the shoe, clean that first, because if you start cleaning both parts at the same time, it might track some of the dirt from the Boost up to the mesh, and the mesh is actually harder to clean than the Boost. So that's just something to keep in mind. Just be careful and thoughtful when you're cleaning your shoes, and you should be just fine. Once you're done scrubbing the shoe, what I like to do is actually clean off the brush and then just use water and go back over the shoe to get off all the excess soap and any dirt that's left over. So I just went and cleaned off my brush and got some fresh water. So now what I'm going to do is go back over the shoe with just the water and clean off all the extra foam and any dirt that's left over. One thing to keep in mind is to make sure not to scrub too hard on mesh materials or softer or more delicate materials because that'll actually damage the material because bristles are pretty abrasive and they could destroy it if you're not too careful. Now once you've scrubbed down your shoe, what you want to do is go back over with your clean cloth and dry it up as much as possible. Once you've dried off the shoe as much as you can with the clean cloth, all that's left to do is let your shoe air dry. And that's pretty much it. As you can see, there's a pretty dramatic difference between the clean shoe and the dirty shoe. The Boost looks so much cleaner and so much brighter. The outsole, the red is back. It's not some dingy brown anymore. And of course the upper doesn't have any stains on it anymore. The reason it's a little bit darker is because I just haven't let the shoe air dry yet. So once it dries, it'll be back to the regular shade of gray, but it looks so much better. That's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know what you think of my method of cleaning Boost sneakers and if you have a different method. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more content just like this, and follow Fowler Customs and all other forms of social media.